Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colin, that's Kevin, and this is your favorite Coy Pond. Hope everyone had a great week. We had some crazy games happen this weekend with the Monday night doubleheader last Thursday and Sunday night, as always. Kevin is back with us in studio.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. You know, it's another great day on the pond, and we have another week of NFL games.
Yeah, there's no place like home.
Exactly. And, you know, home, sadly, is where you have to come back to once in a while after a tough loss, which more or less we both experienced this weekend as the Chargers and Cowboys lost. We'll get into that. But one thing to point out is Ayuk is still not in the top 10 fantasy wide receivers.
No.
And it's funny because I thought I remembered a lot of people telling us he would be.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it for views. But hey, it's only week 4. It is prime time for overreactions. It's time to know that your team sucks if they're 0-3. Your team will not lose another game if they're 3-0. Obviously, it's the NFL. Nothing will ever change, right?
That's right.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else other than another week of football.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, you from a fantasy aspect, we'll start there. But you have your draft, you get started. Most people say give it 3 weeks before you start making moves.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless you get injuries and things
Right.
like that. But there's already been a lot of significant injuries.
Yeah.
In week 1, week 2, week 3, we're hearing rumors now that, McCaffrey's in Germany trying to get help on his foot or whatever it is.
Yeah, is it Achilles maybe?
Yeah. So starting to hear whispers that maybe that's a season-ending situation.
Could you imagine everyone that took him first overall in the draft?
Gosh. It's so aggravating.
I wasn't put in that position. I can only feel for a couple people that I do know that had that first pick. And then had the 28th pick.
Yeah, it happened to me.
Oh, Jesus.
So in one of my 4 leagues, so got McCaffrey and hasn't played. A little bit of a rant. This is not my main rant, but, in August he was having this issue. Nothing came out about it.
I would love to know more.
Yeah.
Because, in all honesty, we do not know who downplayed it more. We don't know if it was coaching. We don't know if it was doctors. We don't know if it was McCaffrey for whatever reason.
Right.
So I will say that just as an umbrella statement.
Fair.
But it is ridiculous that we have not. This went from he'll play week 1 to he hasn't played.
Not a whisper. And how the hell?
And then you go to Germany now for a doctor's appointment?
Yeah. So. Yeah, I agree. Did
he tweak something, maybe?
It stinks, yeah.
Regardless, no doubt. It's just a shitty situation, probably for him.
It really is.
Not to make fantasy owners sound like, I've got his stock and it's plummeting. But it's like, for everyone, this is
abandoned ship!
Yeah. Get out. Jump.
Rats going into the water or something.
Oh, my God.
It's just like, what the hell?
And that doesn't even mention all of the offensive linemen that are hurt this season. Over half of the starting centers, I think, are hurt.
Yep.
Bunch of guards.
Ruiz for the Saints.
Yep.
Last week, gone for the year.
I mean, it makes complete sense why this season has had more unders than any other season, I think, since 2020 at this point. Right? Or it's been a while. I don't remember the exact stats.
That sounds right, though.
And if you look across the NFL right now, it really feels like you're seeing a lot more defensive players playing at a higher level than the offenses. And yes, it's only week 4. Teams without that other preseason game and a lot of new coaches and a bunch of other factors. But the defense seems to be doing a lot better.
It really is. And it's not just like the main defenses, right? All of them are having
it's across
elements.
The NFL.
It is. And it's all this consistent play. I mean, we've heard, people like Tom Brady talk for, over about a year now about the poor quarterback play.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. And, I mean, you're really seeing it now.
It went from this is a pass-heavy league a couple years ago to if you don't run the ball and have a good defense, you're not going to be a good team.
And how fast that shifted back. And then the top back is gone.
Yep.
So it's a really interesting, dynamic, changing by the week, by the game.
Yeah.
More than ever.
I don't know what to make of it. It's kind of wild because you'd assume, like all things, the equilibrium, it'll come back.
Yeah.
Sometime the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But after this third week, I mean, kicking was up crazy the first 2, and then the third week, a lot of kickers sucked.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of it. I'm at a loss.
It's chaos.
Across
it really is.
Across the NFL, it's absolute chaos.
So You want to just head back through the game starting on Thursday?
Yeah, might as well. We'll just go through them. And
Patriots, Jets, right?
Well, the Jets.
Thursday Night Football last week.
Jets are who we thought they were, or hoped they were. People started overreacting after the first two games. And the Patriots were looking pretty good going into that game. And Ramondre Stevenson gets hurt, gets no fantasy points. Thank you, Ramondre.
Seriously?
I think
I missed that.
0.3.
Oh, God.
Not great, but regardless of that, Jets took care of business in New York. That was the first time they've won against the Patriots in New York in some obscene amount of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just an offensive and defensive showing all around by the Jets, who, after losing the 49ers, a lot of people were questioning what this team was.
Yeah. So just think about that. At that point, Jets looked like they were plummeting.
Mm-hmm.
49ers looked like they were going up. And then...
we have a moment now where it's like, yeah, this is how it should have gone.
And the Aaron Rodgers, Robert Salah thing.
Yeah, bullshit.
What's the deal with that? What's your take?
People thinking they hate each other.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
Going to hug him, and Aaron Rodgers gives him the look.
I think that's like Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert after Week 1. Herbert is a hugging guy. Harbaugh is not.
Yeah,
and it was backwards with Aaron Rodgers and Salah, and it's being speculated that it was Hassan Reddick's ex-agent putting shit out saying the locker room was in disarray.
Oh yeah.
So all that's coming out at this point.
Yeah,
and,
Pat McAfee was talking about that the other day.
I don't believe it at all. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
After what that team's been through, if they're going to be shitty around Aaron Rodgers, they should remember Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, and every other quarterback since Sanchez.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, the butt fumble. Yeah. and I'm guessing that Rodgers said something to him like, "Look, it's one. Hey. Yeah. We got way more to do than just this."
And Salah did put his foot in his mouth in one of those press conferences, maybe after the first week, if I'm remembering it right. He has a couple times now, but I don't buy into that at all. I'm sure it was fine.
So the Giants, let's move on to the Sunday games.
Yep.
The Giants were terrible, right? Lost in the abyss, and somehow they beat the Browns. The Browns, I think, had the lead in the game for a bit there.
They must have in the first quarter.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, the Giants come back and take that thing. So I don't know what to make of that.
Malik Neighbors is the real deal.
Yeah, sure.
I would argue that the Browns' O-line and Deshaun Watson, booty cheeks, straight slow stroke king. I have no faith in the Browns. No. I mean, this rivals the shit I was seeing growing up when they were actually terrible.
Yeah.
But good on the Giants. They got a win. Yeah. Malik Neighbors had a game.
Got 2 touchdowns. Here he comes.
Maybe they're figuring stuff out. I wouldn't be surprised if the overreaction to the Giants being as bad as we initially thought.
Yeah.
At 0-2 was an overreaction.
Yep.
But, I still need to see more from the Giants.
Yeah.
The Browns I've officially written off as cheeks and ship them off to, not making the playoffs.
And actually looking at this, I misspoke a little bit because the Giants were up 21-7 at the half, and just coasted to the win. So
it's maybe that's one of the games where they stayed in it long enough that they could do a different game plan playing from ahead than behind like they had been. Because I would assume trying to come from behind in the beginning parts of the season are going to be a lot harder than being able to coast through it leading, especially with Deshaun Watson. But I'll put that to bed for now.
The Packers roll on against the Titans.
Malik Willis.
It's just unbelievable.
He's the leading rusher in the NFL. Leading attempt
Malik
rushing.
Willis. Yeah. I mean, what the hell?
And, the revenge game for Malik Willis, good on him. Frankly, when the Titans had him and started or played him last year, 2 years ago, I didn't really think anything of it. We don't watch a lot of college football, so prospects from college that bust the NFL don't have as much of a name to me as much as they just didn't work out.
Right.
But seeing this was amazing. I mean, the Packers are doing great things with Jordan Love being able to take as much time as he needs.
It's incredible. I'm a bit amazed that they didn't beat the Eagles the first week.
Honestly.
But again,
here we are.
Each week, who knows? And Will Levis, I don't know. He had bonehead plays in the first two. I don't know if he had one in this or not.
I don't remember it being bonehead. It just doesn't seem to click. I would say might be the better way of describing that. Correct us in the comments if you're a Titans fan watching this, but I do still like Callahan.
Yeah, I do too. It'll come around. It's not for a lack of him working it, yelling, doing what he needs to do.
In one of those press conferences, he was screaming at him. So
Livid.
I don't blame him. They'll figure it out at some point, you'd have to assume.
Yep. Colts, Bears. Good matchup there.
That was crazy. Anthony Richardson, I think, had horrid stats in that game.
We've talked about that, and we talked about we don't think he's that as bad as. I even watched Chase Daniels' YouTube videos.
Yep.
He's not as bad. I don't know. He sure is struggling right now.
He's got to figure it out quick because all the previous stats about how many games he played up until his first year in the NFL total, it's pretty damning stuff. And it's really looking like he either completes the pass, then it's 80 yards, or he doesn't complete it at all.
Yeah, he's holding the ball too long is what it looked like to me, and he's not feeling the pressure around him to have that internal clock going. Yeah, and it just leads to bad things, as we all know, strip sacks and all kinds of crap.
I completely agree.
On the flip side, Caleb Williams, for the first week, really kind of showed something.
Yeah, he was looking good, and that's horrifying to me because I didn't know what to make of him. They didn't have Keenan Allen, big shocker there.
Yep.
But
Odunze gets his first touchdown.
Yeah, and I think Caleb and Odunze fought over who got that ball.
Yeah,
understandably.
There's a video of them teasing each other back and forth, running back to the sideline.
I mean, at that point, you might as well get two balls, juggle them around until no one knows which one's which, and then give them both out.
Yeah.
But tough loss for the Bears. I can't really remember how that one ended. It looked like they were on their way to coming back, but they only scored points in the second half.
I think so. It just started too late. Had they had more time, they probably would have won it.
Right.
Somehow, and I think really Jonathan Taylor had a huge game.
That's what I thought. I remembered.
Yeah, and so that's what Doug ripped the offense out. So
makes sense.
Here's a mystifier.
Oh my God, yes.
I would have never picked the Texans losing to the Vikings.
No.
Ever.
No. This legitimizes the Vikings.
4 touchdowns for Sam Darnold? Are you kidding me?
This is one of those instances where the world wrote off a quarterback that was on bad teams. He gets an opportunity with a well-rounded team from the looks of it, and they're still missing wide receivers.
Yeah.
And they took care of business against the Texans.
Yeah, Addison didn't even play.
Yeah.
This number 2 receiver didn't even play.
Given Joe Mixon on the Texans is out, I don't know how much that really changes. But that defensive line for the Vikings, I mean, they are sack hawks.
They are.
That one might have came off wrong, but you get the point.
They're damn good.
I mean, that line was handling C.J. Stroud.
Yeah. They're disciplined.
Yeah.
They're it's just shocking to me for all this happened to the Vikings.
Yes.
I mean,
they don't have meat in their stadium. Where are these big guys coming from?
All these things.
Are the vegans going to be the purple people eaters once more?
Yeah.
Was that the problem?
Yeah.
Eating too much meat.
They're light on their feet now.
Yeah. It's
Joe
crazy.
Mixon didn't play in this game, correct?
Right. I believe he was out.
So how much does the running game affect the passing game?
Right. In this situation.
It got him out of balance and...
I have to assume there's a little bit of that, given the Texans really didn't have a run game last year.
Yeah.
So, did they work an entire offseason with Mixon? Understandably, a great running back.
Yeah.
And now that they found him without him, you don't have a second option, maybe, because it was only Cam Akers.
Yeah, because
Damian Pierce is out, too.
He's out, too, yeah.
So, this legitimizes the Vikings for me. This
agree.
wasn't close. However, it is not banged up Texans, but missing your running back one does have an impact. So I'm going to say it legitimizes Vikings, but it doesn't necessarily take away from the Texans being good.
Right.
I think most people would assume this team will do just fine, but Mixon being back is probably a bigger puzzle piece than we assumed.
No, I agree with you. Of course, the Cowboys get destroyed by the Saints the week before.
Yep.
It just can't happen that the Eagles can lose to the Saints. So,
no.
Saints end up, like we said, losing their starting center.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the same kind of slickness and efficiency they had before. The speedster receiver, Rashid.
Yeah.
He actually had like 4 or 5 drop balls.
Oh, damn.
It was ugly looking.
I know Chris Olave caught their touchdown, I'm pretty sure, on the Saints.
That's right. And then Dallas Goedert for the Eagles. And clutch time at the end of the game.
DeMonte Smith got mauled, which meant they had one option to go to.
Yeah, and so he catches a crossing route, maybe 5 yards, and takes it, 70 yards, 60 yards?
I mean, he had wheels.
He did.
For a big fella.
And if you didn't see it, the reason he got so far downfield is 3 Saint defenders literally ran into one another at the point of the catch. So
it was so ugly.
So that was the ball game there.
I mean, the Eagles defense, was it C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
Yeah.
Had himself a game. That was horrid to watch up until the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the Eagles, I mean, if you're an Eagle fan, certainly what it shows you is your team has resiliency and the ability to hang in there, fight. That's something right now. Even if you want to win all your games, but even if you got the fight, that will probably serve you later.
I agree. The only problem being Sirianni still looks like a buffoon. The fourth down stuff and not taking field goals.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing? Yeah. But I'm not a coach. Heaven forbid. I know. But I'm still not high on Sirianni personally.
You want to come back or hit that now?
We might as well hit it on the run.
Right.
Chargers at Steelers. The Chargers are made of glass bones as usual. Lose Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, Joey Bosa, and Justin Herbert in that game.
Lose them?
They sidelined by the third quarter.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
All four of them. Khalil Mack looked a little banged up at one point. I think the poor man was just tired from trying to carry this team. At half, it looked good. And then the line started getting hurt. TJ Watt started making plays. Justin Herbert gets pulled out as soon as he starts limping with that ankle injury. Heineke comes in, and that's the game.
Yeah.
In the middle of the third quarter, I want to say. Definitely by the fourth, but I think middle of the third.
Yeah.
Steelers looked good. I mean, that defense is just fucking tough.
Yeah.
It's a steel curtain, no doubt. I don't think their offense is unstoppable, but, the Chargers gave up 20 to them. So, woe is life.
Well, I mean, I still don't have any doubt that Jim Harbaugh is going to be great in his time.
It'll be one of those where, like, year 2 and 3 will be much better.
But, he runs into, I think, the greatest coach active in the NFL right now, and Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
There's just nobody else that has the culture that he's got.
Well, doing as much as he is with less.
Taking Arthur Smith, a reject from Atlanta,
I completely
mixing
agree.
him into that, and taking a reject from Chicago
and making it work,
and a reject from Denver, and not even Russell Wilson playing.
No.
So Justin Fields
doing
leading this.
Yep.
He wasn't good enough for Chicago.
No.
Arthur Smith wasn't good enough for Atlanta.
Here we are.
And they're 3-0.
It's crazy.
So,
but whatever. It is what it is.
Yep.
I have to say, I assumed they'd lose both to the Pittsburgh and Chiefs. We'll get in the Chiefs one later, but unreal. Derwin James gets suspended for one game due to a hit.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I get why he was suspended. It's helmet to helmet, but also a suspension and not a fine feels crazy as they host Kansas City next week.
Yeah,
feels a little bit bullshit, but also he's been without a doubt one of the dirtier players in the NFL. So it's hard to weigh in on, like, did he mean to? Probably not.
Yeah.
Is it still a hit? Yes, it is. Trying to make the play, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no real opinion. Regardless, he's gone for the week against Kansas City. So take Travis Kelce to have his breakout game.
Good Lord. Calvin Austin had a really good game receiving. How did J.K. Dobbins do?
He had like 50 yards.
Okay.
It was
not quite on what he had been doing. Okay. Gotcha.
They held him pretty good.
Yeah, like you said, that defense is really tough.
Yeah.
No doubt that Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers have better days coming.
No doubt, but it is what it is for now.
Yeah. Another kind of shocker, I would say.
Oh, I'd say this is a huge shocker.
Broncos beating the Buccaneers 26-7.
That was not on my bingo card.
Oh my goodness, Bo Nix.
I didn't see much of this game where I was watching it. Didn't have much of a view, but just box score watching, if you will, it seems like the Broncos had control of this game from the get-go. Yeah. I don't know if anybody got hurt or what happened for the Buccaneers since they traveled to Tampa, but not a great look.
No, and I don't know if Baker Mayfield got mixed up by the Broncos defense or it was just he was on an off day. But I certainly didn't expect a blowout.
No, I did not. And maybe this is a fluke. Maybe Sean Payton just knew, what's his name, Todd Bowles well enough. I mean, he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah.
But they got him. Yep. I don't know what to think about it, but they got him.
Yep. Shocker number 2.
Oh, my God.
Panthers blowing out the Raiders at L.A.
Poetic.
Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
36-22. Andy Dalton comes in.
Fucking
plays Bryce Young. Goes to show you.
That looks bad for Bryce Young.
Really bad. Really bad.
That is in my real take about this situation is this is the only way you completely derail yourself.
Yeah.
Because now the Bryce Young pick not only looks bad, it looks stupid.
Yeah.
And you gave up these picks to get Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Or however that whole trade situation.
That's how it was, yeah.
So now you have a quarterback that is worth about a backup maybe to other teams.
Yep.
And you can't start him because now you have Andy Dalton.
Yep.
So the best case from this is you sit him until the Panthers lose enough again. and then just hope he's better after watching Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Which after already having a year under his belt, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, it just blew me away that I thought Andy Dalton would come in and play well.
Yeah.
I did not think that they would win by 14.
I did not think that either.
I did not think Andy Dalton would throw for 303 touchdowns and look like a juggernaut.
No.
And the Raiders just can't do anything right.
No.
Really.
I mean, that post-game conference or interview with Raiders head coach.
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce. They had one defender on a play in the fourth quarter not wanting to make the tackle, and he said some of our players made business decisions, and now we'll have to make business decisions. It's a kid he's coached since high school that did that.
Oh shit!
And they threw an Aiden O'Connell by the end of that game, right? Instead of Gardner Minshew.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's rough. And I mean, that O-line for the Panthers is not supposed to be anything good. So how could maybe again, I'm just watching box scores, but by that I would assume Max Crosby and Wilkinson didn't get to Andy Dalton too many times, which means they're throwing quick passes and they couldn't cover it.
Yeah. The Panthers have the worst rush defense in the NFL. And Zamir White can't get more than, I don't think it was 30 yards.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I
wonder what Madison did.
I don't understand that. He had one touchdown.
Okay.
And a few carries, but nothing major.
Crazy?
No.
Good Lord.
The other thing, too, is that Adam Thielen goes on the IR for 4 weeks, I believe.
I saw that touchdown pass.
Injury.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
The real mess in the NFL now, the Dolphins. They lost the backup quarterback in this game, Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you do from here.
No.
The Seahawks,
bold
3-0, by the way.
Yeah.
24-3, just destroy them.
Oh, they bulldozed the Dolphins, which is understandable. You travel to Seattle, you're playing with a backup quarterback. This looked like almost like the Raiders-Chargers game where it's like it almost looks like your backup quarterback didn't plan on playing.
Yeah.
And it was bad. It was a rough watch. I don't really have any words for this game other than I don't know what the hell happened.
The Dolphins, I mean, they're in that list, that column of paper teams, and now they're a paper team without the talent.
Yep.
And I don't know what the hell you do from there, but they're going to have a long, long year. Tua is seeing doctors now.
Yeah, I mean, Lord knows what happens with that situation, but oh my God.
I have a feeling he's done for the year, but we'll see.
Yeah, who knows?
I'll let you take this away. The Cowboys-Ravens. So, oh boy, this game was 28-6 halfway through the third quarter.
Yep.
It was just brutal. I mean, the Ravens finally looking like the Ravens in terms of doing the running they should be doing.
Right.
And running the option, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, mixing up some play action. The Cowboys didn't even know what fucking direction to go. Every time he'd hold that ball, two guys would go to him and he'd hand it off, and no one's covering the guy that gets the ball, Henry.
Yeah. Or
something like that.
Yep.
And it was so aggravating. They finally, and I don't even know how the hell they got back in the game, honestly. I mean, it was goofy at best.
At halftime, you would not have guessed that in the end they lost by 3.
Yeah. So the Cowboys have a chance to stop them and get the ball back with probably 30 seconds left.
Yep.
And they do, again, one of these option runs. And both Cowboys defenders hammer hard on the outside run.
Yep.
And let Lamar Jackson just run right up the middle to get the first down. So I don't know what Mike McCarthy is thinking. You got to start running the damn ball.
Yep.
This team is predicated on the offense. The offense has started slow back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
And they can't get passes completed. They give all this fucking money to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb dropping balls, fumbles as they're getting ready to score, drop the key third down, and then walking around like, hey, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. Shut the fuck up and catch the goddamn ball. Hold on to the ball when you get down to the end zone.
Yep.
Dak was losing his mind. Dak was not sharp early in this game either. He's got no one to look around but point the finger at himself.
Right.
I don't understand why they start so fucking slow.
Yeah.
And if your offense is not achieving initially, this defense is not set up to play from behind.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they're going to run the ball.
Yep.
Like the Ravens did down the Cowboys' throat. 150 yards by Derrick Henry. 2 touchdowns. Every time there's just Cowboys hanging on him. He's running 10 more yards down the field. It was ridiculous. The Cowboys look wimpy. They look uninterested. And they looked undisciplined. And I know Zimmer's defense takes a little time to get in there.
Right.
And hopefully, they're getting that figured out. But, not good. Not good at all.
No. And it was a fourth quarter effort there that at one point it looked like they might have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Which is at least something promising to take away, given the situation that if this didn't start so late, they could have just won it.
You got Trey Lance on the bench.
Yep.
They don't have a running back. Zeke can't do it. Rico Dowdle, maybe not. But you need some dynamic, like Turpin or somebody like that. Mm-hmm. A dynamic, end runs, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Why don't you try something with Trey Lance, since he can't throw it, but he can run it.
Right.
And you've already got him there. Mm-hmm. Put him in there with Dak and design some run plays with him to get him outside in space.
Yeah.
It's just...
Or at the very least,
creativity.
Use him as trade capital to go get a running back on one of these teams that doesn't have a quarterback right now.
Or that.
Because you just signed Dak to a max deal.
Yeah. The Dolphins have, 75 running backs you could pick off of there?
Yeah.
My God. Take the worst one. Trey Lance. There you go. Happy days.
It feels like you could definitely make something like that work with one of these teams that has it.
Yeah.
Personally thinking out loud. Because up until they signed Dak to this max deal almost, it was like... Okay, they're keeping Trey Lance for if anything goes wrong. And now it's like, you got Dak for another 5 years? 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
It's like, okay, so Trey Lance isn't going to be there for more than 3.
That's done.
Why don't you use it?
I agree with you.
Send Donald and trade Lance somewhere and get a running back 1.
I don't know what the hell they're doing there.
But, that would be too easy. Who knows?
Yep.
Who knows?
Another shocking game, the one that eased the pain a little bit.
The Rams winning that game was awesome.
I did not think the Rams had a shot in hell with all their injuries to beat the Niners.
No.
Now, in all fairness, the Niners are banged up too.
Yeah.
You had no Deebo Samuel, you had no George Kittle,
right? No Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's out. So those are serious
weapons.
Setbacks. Yeah. And the Rams, God love Matt Stafford and Sean McVay.
They have no one.
They just battled their guts out, and they just won that with sheer determination.
Yes, and it was amazing. It was simply beautiful to watch in the fourth quarter. The Rams come back and win this game.
Yeah, they were blown out by 31 points last week.
Mm-hmm. The Cardinals handled business, and then the Rams, at the very least, won against the 49ers. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I did not expect that.
No. Equally, not that I didn't expect the Lions to beat the Cardinals, but I didn't expect the Cardinals not to play up a little bit more in this game.
I agree. It felt like the Cardinals, it might have clicked for them last week, maybe the confidence, something.
Yeah.
And then in the end, the final score being 20-13 was not at all how I saw this game playing out. It felt like one of those games, and the odds showed is that it should be like a 30-20-something game, and that's just simply not how it went.
No. Yep. So, Lions look like they're back on track.
The Lions defense, maybe?
Yeah.
Doing a lot better. I know they lost some pieces, though.
Yeah.
It's something like that. I can't remember.
But yeah, look like they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Oh, Chiefs, Falcons.
The Chiefs do what the Chiefs do.
Man.
Another pass interference question, right?
These pass interference questions are getting crazy for the Chiefs.
They seem to always be with the Chiefs.
I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's looking damning at this point.
It's not a good look on the league.
At one point, it would just be like, okay, whatever. I could see both ways in real time.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay. Like, I don't even remember if that was Drake London or if it was someone else in the Pitts maybe in the end zone, just getting tackled before the ball got there. It was like,
Yeah.
And then to come down the field at the end of the game to almost win it, and then do a 5-yard back stretch run.
Yeah.
I mean,
what the hell call was that?
I blame the refs, but at the end of the day, what the fuck was that call?
You still had a chance, right?
It was 4th and 1, and you made it 4th and 7.
Yeah.
And you just ran a running back stretch.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I mean, Bijan Robinson, a power back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just
hell, even
send him on tackle.
Yeah, just inside zone at least.
Or quarterback sneak, whatever. Tons of choices here.
It felt like a new head coach, not young, he's old, but a new head coach figuring it out, and then maybe try to outsmart. Maybe the inside run was too easy. Maybe I'll try and fake him out with it if they load the box. They didn't. They handled the Falcons' deep offensive line.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
Questions for that game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs definitely are not as good as that record shows.
No,
but
if the refs are in their pocket,
if they're going to keep winning. They're going to keep winning.
Then
it's the Patriots all over again.
It really is. Same shit.
Catch them. They'll lose a couple big ones or a couple weird ones this season, and then they'll be just fine going to the playoffs.
So we moved to the doubleheader Monday night game, which was kind of odd.
They do this a few times the year now.
So, but these games were so overlapped, it was kind of weird.
You have to be a pro to get into a seat of both games.
Yeah. So, Bills, Josh Allen, world beaten again. Jaguars, what the hell's going on? The Bills are good. There's no doubt about it. This is all about, to me, the Jaguars are just sucking bad.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence had 170 yards passing. He had that one phantom spin. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
But at one point in the game, towards the end, he just spins for no reason.
Really?
Yeah, he does a whole spin in the pocket. It's like,
what the hell are you doing?
Did he get hit too many times? Now he doesn't know where he's at? There was a defensive lineman rushing or contesting one of the O linemen, and in your head, maybe you think he's right behind you.
Yeah.
But without getting touched, it just a spin. It looked bad, and obviously nothing's clicking with the Jaguars right now at all.
No.
Doug
Peterson is in trouble.
Yeah, no, that's a bad look, especially when their owner's coming out saying this is the best Jaguars team we've ever put together.
Yeah.
And they're 0-3.
Yeah, and I don't quite understand it.
No.
I don't know if there's something with the coordinators or they changed coordinators. I'm not sure.
I can't even remember at this point.
But it's Doug Peterson's in trouble. Speaking of trouble,
oh my God,
Cincinnati Bengals, 0-3, and I would have never guessed the Commanders would have beat them on Monday night.
No, not at all. And not only did they beat them, the Bengals' red zone offense looked garbage. Given they had 33, but I think one of those was at least a deep ball to Jamar Chase, and another one was something else. But they couldn't get to Jaden Daniels, and when they could, he would just run. And it was just a simple offense, and it felt like the Bengals overthought what they were going to do.
Yeah.
They kept it simple, and Jaden Daniels could just plug and play, where the Bengals were trying to do so much, so all of a sudden, someone that caught a ball 3 yards ahead all of a sudden got 17 yards. It was crazy. I can't believe it went this badly. I thought for sure the Bengals would handle business. I had a huge bet that missed by the Bengals winning. I was mind blown.
If you'd asked me in August if after 3 weeks Cincinnati be 0-3, or anybody, they'd say no way,
no shot.
But certainly I would have never said that the Commanders would be 2-1 and Cincinnati would be 0-3.
I completely agree.
Jaden Daniels has come along quick.
He had one of the most. It was like the first primetime game for a rookie quarterback. It was like some historic number. He put up a stat leader number for that first primetime game for a rookie quarterback. It was crazy.
So, and I know that they said it was the first rookie in his first 2 games to have 500 yards passing and no turnovers.
Yeah.
In the history of the NFL.
Oh my God! And this was the first game since 1940 where there wasn't a punt or a turnover.
Really?
The entire game.
The whole game?
Whole game.
No shit.
It was crazy.
So you got to say Washington kind of got Chicago a little on the first pick there.
Oh yeah. Right now, Jaden Daniels and Kirk Herbstreit called it. Jaden Daniels is the quarterback you wanted. Caleb Williams is Caleb Williams, and he has a better team around him.
Yeah.
This team came into Cincy at their first primetime game and just railed them. There's no pretty way of putting this. That was disgusting performance by the Bengals. Yep. And I'm trying to remember because we watched this game so in depth, but it just was ugly. There's no other better way to say it.
Yeah, you're right. All right, shall we move on to the previews for
week 4?
Week 4?
Yeah. I'll let you start out since you got Thursday night.
Yeah. So here we go. Cowboys 1-2, Giants 1-2. The game at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Cowboys on the road.
At MetLife.
Got to get the damn running game going.
Yes.
The Giants now have a little sense of life.
A little life.
You know, from winning a game there.
Yep.
I think that it's going to be a tough game for the Cowboys.
It's definitely one of those prove it.
Yeah.
You know, make sure they're not dead.
Yep. I think, you got to get the running game going again. Like I said,
Yep.
they got to run it like 30 times. I don't care who it is.
I agree.
You got to take the pressure off the defense early in the game, and you got to get to play action with Dak. That's for the most effectiveness. You know, I think the Giants just don't have enough weapons to pull it off.
No.
I think this comes down to the wire, though. And I will mention Brandon Aubrey,
Oh, yeah.
kicker for the Cowboys, who's been
A
incredible.
weapon. Absolute weapon.
You know, it was kind of almost like a passing of the torch against the Ravens,
Yep.
where Justin Tucker missed a field goal,
Yep.
and Brandon Aubrey made all of his, and also set a record, an NFL record,
Oh, right.
for the first kicker in NFL history to kick 12 consecutive 50-plus yard field goals without a miss. So, you know, he is now in the record books. He tied the longest kick in the game last week.
Yep.
And I think the Cowboys win this one probably 20-14, something like that, maybe 20-17.
I personally, and this is just because I've already placed my bets for this game, I got the over-under at 43.5, so I don't know what you want to do with the 45.5, rest of you people, but I'm on Coy Pond pick of the week. It's 2-1. We are taking the over.
Oh,
This is an over week.
over week. All right.
The Giants figured out Malik Neighbors. They will get a few field goals. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game somewhere in the ballpark of 30-17.
Okay.
I think the Giants will have a little bit better showing than you'd probably expect maybe earlier in the game. They might come out winning this by 10-0. I personally think the Cowboys will be able to hold off Malik Neighbors since that's about all the Giants got. The Cowboys historically go into MetLife in the last 5 years and handle business. I think they're going to be an angry team, ready to silence everybody. This could be a potential opposite year for the Cowboys, where away games they rail teams, and home games they get railed.
Could be.
I don't really think
So
that'll
far.
happen, but at the moment it's on track.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Cowboys spread and the over 43.5. It's at 45.5 at -6. Until Dallas gets to that -7 mark, I would still take it.
Okay.
You're the Cowboys expert. I've just been watching this game closely on the line movement. This
Yeah.
got to 4.5. People juiced it right back to 6.
Really?
So I'm kind of high on the over in the Cowboys in this one personally.
All
But
right.
Coy Pond picks the over. Don't forget it.
There you go. All right, on to Sunday, the 1 o'clock slate.
Woo.
We got the Falcons hosting the Saints.
That's just a tough one to look at every time.
You know, and again, last week's Saints team going to show up. The Falcons beat the Eagles.
Mhm.
The Saints just lost to them. Those were back-to-back games.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you thinking on this one?
Honestly, this is at Atlanta, given they're not far apart at all, so that doesn't make a huge difference. It's a divisional game. It's going to be close. Kirk Cousins losing that game to Philly, or they just played Kansas, sorry.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
beat Philly
No,
at the end. Saints kind of looking a little rough there against Philadelphia.
Yep.
What would that triangle? They always come in threes. So if Atlanta beat Philly beat the Saints win this game.
All right. Saints win.
It is my conspiracy.
Yep.
It always goes in a circle.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with Saints based off that alone.
I think the Saints get back on track. I think Alvin Kamara has a big game.
Yeah.
I think he could be the difference maker there and take the heat off a Carr. And I think they get after Kirk Cousins.
I can see that.
Next 1 o'clock game, we got the Rams playing at the Bears.
That's hilarious.
So we got West Coast traveling to the Central Eastern time zone, I guess, Central time zone.
Yeah. Oh man. This is kind of something I don't care for.
No, it's kind of rough because the Rams come off a big win in the
at home.
Niners,
Yeah.
but the Bears are at home.
Man, I don't know what to make of this game.
It could be a trap.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I would probably lean the Bears now that Caleb Williams is looking better.
Yeah,
but that team just doesn't look good.
I agree.
Still,
I
losing
think,
to Indy.
Yeah,
I kind of have to take the Rams.
You know, and even though the Bears are favored 2.5 points at home, you know, I just think Stafford's the difference.
Yeah,
As long as they keep Stafford upright.
Yeah,
you know, Caleb Williams is still finding he's not Jaden Daniels yet. So
maybe he's pressured to do better, and then he makes more mistakes.
Could be. He seems like he's got a little bit of a cocky thing to him.
It's felt that way.
And they talked about, they showed, is DJ Moore that's there?
Yeah.
They showed him on the sideline, and there was a meme that
He's
said,
just shaking his head.
yeah, like, shut up,
Yeah.
something like that. He's just looking. So I'm going to take the Rams in this one.
I am too. I think there's a much better chance the Rams win this. Just coaching and quarterback play alone.
Yep. We get, this is a great game. We get the Vikings traveling to Green Bay.
A 1 o'clock game for this right now is just horrific. And I think there's a chance Jordan Love might play.
There is.
Or he's not out of it yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Given right now both those quarterbacks are hot.
Wow.
I guess you'd say Malik Willis is more hot because he's played the last two. But
yeah,
I'm going to go Vikings.
Are you going Vikings?
I'm not even going to think about it. Offensively, I think the Vikings have more threats. I think the D-line on the Vikings will be the big difference. They'll know that, well, I guess Malik Willis could run like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's the hard part for me.
Yeah. And you got Aaron Jones who's going back to Green Bay, right?
He's going to
So there's another thing.
I'm going to stay Vikings.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have more, they're maybe not hungrier, but this might be more personal with how long the Packers have kind of ran that division.
I kind of agree with you. Green Bay's favored by 2.5. And my first inclination is to go Packers.
Right.
But I think I'm going Minnesota too.
Now watch me lose both of these because I overthought it, but it just feels like the Vikings are still going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going to go Vikings. Soft.
I agree with you.
Soft Vikings.
Steelers travel to the Colts. I think Steelers take care of this one. Probably harass Anthony Richardson.
He probably gets hurt in this game.
I'd imagine this thing is like 26-7.
The Steelers shut down the Chargers' run game. Anthony Richardson can't find anybody against the Bears on the passing game. I think they eliminate the offense similarly to how they did the Chargers, honestly.
Yeah.
And, I like Shane Steichen. Who's the coach?
Not sure.
For the Colts now? Oh, it's the old Eagles offensive coordinator.
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
Regardless, I think Tomlin takes care of business with the Colts. I don't think this is not a new environment for him. Traveling to Indianapolis, obviously, with the Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning throughout the years, but I think Tomlin takes care of business.
I agree with that. We get the Broncos at the Jets. So Bo Nix goes up against Aaron Rodgers.
I think that Jets defense is going to be more trouble for Bo Nix than he's seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa has a decent defense. I think Vita Vea's out, so that obviously changes things. If he's even still playing, I might be talking out my ass. Seahawks defense isn't anything crazy at the moment, as far as I can remember. They're 3-0, so they could be. I think that Jets defense is just going to handle Bo Nix. And, they came off a big win. They might be up, and maybe that's the boost they needed, and the Bo Nix kills them. But Aaron Rodgers has got all the weapons he needs. They're clicking. I'm guessing the Jets just go in and go home and take care of it.
Yeah, they're heavy. They're 7.5-point favorites right now.
I might not mess with the spread, but I think they win this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they were clicking last week. They'll keep clicking. I think rookie quarterback like Bo Nix is going to have good moments, bad moments. It's not all going to be
right.
So I'd go with the Jets too.
It just has to even out.
We get the Eagles traveling to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay beat them in the playoffs last year, knocked them out. After that performance against the Broncos,
that's a head scratcher, man.
It is, and Baker Mayfield was looking automatic, and they eliminated Derek Carr.
Yeah,
his ability really to have a great game.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to lean Eagles, but they won't have Devontae Smith or AJ Brown more than likely, right?
Yeah, but they have Dallas Goedert.
They've got Dallas Goedert.
As long as
Saquon.
Yeah. I gotta just think that the Eagles have too much there for the Bucs to handle right now.
At the very least on defense, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Eagles.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Eagles are favored by 2. I think Tampa Bay just last week kind of throws a curveball to it. Eagles are solid.
Yeah.
Eagles want revenge for the playoff game.
That's really my thought process.
That's a big one.
Thing.
Yeah. You got the mainstays are still going to be in the game. You got Jalen Hurts.
I mean, Mike Evans still on the Tampa Bay. Like, it's hard for me to pick against Baker in this situation, and maybe it's that obvious, but I'm gonna have to go Eagles just on the sheer point they want to get back at them.
Yep. This is an interesting game.
Oh boy, divisional game too.
Cincinnati.
I was looking.
Cincinnati at Carolina. So you have Andy Dalton,
the Red Rocket.
And you have Joey Burrow,
who's not looking like the Red Rocket.
On paper, Cincinnati should win this game, but they lost to Jane Daniels at home in primetime.
Yeah, this is tough. They have to win one. I'm gonna stick with the Bengals, I think last week caught the Raiders off guard and they couldn't come back to it.
Yeah.
They messed around with different quarterbacks too. So I'm going to go with the 1 o'clock Bengals can pull this off. Maybe it's close, but I think it might be an overreaction to Andy Dalton getting over the Raiders secondary personally.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong.
You
I
know,
just
I
have
wanna-
to have faith that the Bengals win one, and this is the one.
I want to pick Andy Dalton here. I really do.
I do too.
But I just can't believe Cincinnati's 0-3. I don't believe they'll be 0-4. So I'm going to go Cincinnati as well. Cincinnati's favored by 4.
Yeah, and I'll be on that drum the rest of the year if they keep losing.
Jaguars at the Texans. I think quite simply, Houston, the Texans get back on track.
Yeah.
Jaguars don't have an answer for shit right now.
No.
And there's nothing in the future that indicates
it'll change.
Texans are going to be pissed off on this one.
Yeah.
And the Jaguars are just going to be like, what the hell do we do?
Yeah, they might go 0-7.
We might be within 2 or 3 weeks of Doug Peterson being cut.
It's possible. It's going to get loud quickly.
Yeah. Houston's favored by 6.5 in that one. This should be a pretty good game. We have 4 o'clock games now. So we get Commanders and Cardinals. Cardinals look great.
Yep.
Commanders have looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Arizona. What do you think?
I'm going to probably lean Cardinals to win this game because the Bengals still passed all over the Commanders. Yeah. I just think the Cardinals' defense plays down enough that it won't be as easy for them against the Bengals, who may have overthought this game in prime time. I think Jane Daniels still has a great game. This could be high scoring. In my opinion, this could have a crazy number of touchdowns between Marvin Harrison Jr., Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin now having complete faith in his quarterback.
Yep.
They lost Austin Eckler to the Commanders. On the Commanders, I think. Well, he went out at the game in Cincy.
Okay.
Yeah, he went out with a concussion, so I think he has to not play 1 week, maybe.
Yeah,
if I'm remembering that right.
He has until Saturday to clear the protocol, so we'll see what happens.
So with him questionable at the very least, I'm going to go with Cardinals on this because you got to travel all the way to Arizona regardless.
Yeah. And is it Trey McBride, the tight end for the Cardinals?
Yeah.
So he right now is in concussion protocol as well.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well.
So we'll see there, but we'll both go Arizona. Eh?
Yeah.
4 o'clock game. We have the Patriots at the Niners, both 1-2.
Get back for the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, Niners are favored by 10 right now. I just think they've got too many weapons, even with those weapons out.
Ayuk has to have a game one of these times. He's probably due at this point since Jawan Jennings was last week's.
Yeah, nice pickup in fantasy, by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
More than that, to actually have to put him right in, too. So with everybody hurt, that was a great move. But
appreciate it.
Some people wouldn't have had the balls to do that. So.
I just don't like Ayuk, and I do know that a ball has to get thrown.
Yeah. Gio Jennings, last year watching him play, that guy was tough when he had his moments too.
He is. He's
a really good receiver.
He's not bad.
So I think the Niners win big there.
Yeah.
Raiders and Browns. This is the toilet bowl. I don't know.
The Raiders only be favored by 1.5 is crazy. I think Max Crosby and Wilkinson eat up Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, this game might be like a 10-0 game.
There's also a rumor that Myles Garrett may not play now.
Yeah.
He's banged up.
I just, to the wind, without thinking twice, would say Raiders to win this.
Yeah, the Browns, I mean, the Giants beat the Browns. I mean, everybody's beaten the Browns so far.
It just doesn't feel like the Browns are worth a damn.
Who's the one team the Browns did beat? When Cincinnati was, they didn't play yet.
No, they haven't played yet. Who did the
Anyway.
Browns play? Fuck. It was week 2.
Yeah. That's amazing they won a game, actually.
Maybe I'll come back or I'll throw it on the screen.
Sure. All right.
Chiefs.
Take it away.
Next. I mean, Travis Kelce without Derwin James will have a breakout game.
Is Derwin James that critical to keeping him
Yes,
under
for
wraps?
Travis Kelce,
Historically?
it's almost personal.
Really?
In my opinion. Given
Between
he
the two
hasn't,
of them?
Yeah, but also Travis hasn't been targeted a lot.
Okay.
So that's why I'm assuming this will be
He's
the game.
due.
Yeah. I think he's always the one they fucking go off to against the Chargers. And obviously Drew Tranquil on the Chiefs defensive line that's an ex-Charger that likes to scream that loud and proud. Oh, fuck. Chargers are too hurt. Herbert might not even play, depending on how his ankle is.
Yeah.
If I'm Harbaugh, a lot of people didn't like that he still put Herbert in for the first half alone against the Steelers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just take the Chiefs. Maybe not -7.5.
Yeah.
But I would just take the Chiefs. The Chiefs have had the Chargers number for years now.
I'm going to go out on a ledge here.
Oh, boy.
It's Jim Harbaugh. It's a new day. It's the first time they're matching up. I think this is his coaching masterpiece of the early part of the season. Yeah. And I think in a low-scoring game, they somehow win the game.
I would love it.
I think he finds a way.
The Chiefs offensively have not looked amazing.
No.
Chargers defense definitely picked it up from where they were last year. The Chiefs won't have Pacheco.
The Chiefs aren't 100% either. So,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
But Rashee Rice has been running around football fields. So, I don't know. I'm just taking Chiefs.
Well, I'm going to say the Chargers by Dicker the kicker. So
that would be
3
amazing.
points.
I'd be so happy if that happened.
Let's see, Sunday night game.
Ooh.
This is a nice one.
Ooh.
We get the Bills at the Ravens. Two teams that run the shit out of the ball in their own unique ways.
Yeah.
Bills look awfully good.
Yes, they do.
Ravens looked awfully solid, finally. Man, I don't know what to say on that one.
Bills. Jaguars given bad, terrible offense. But I think the Bills are a more complete team.
I think so.
I think rotating the offensive line for the Ravens will be their downfall, even if it's not going on in this game if they've already fixed it. I just prefer the Bills. They just feel better. Given this is at Baltimore, but Baltimore lost that game when they played the Raiders.
Yeah.
So I'm just firmly believing in the Bills in this one, and I don't even really have much of a thought other than that.
Here's how this game's going to go. Ravens are going to get out to a lead.
Yeah.
Maybe 14-0, maybe 17-0.
I can see that.
Bills will win the game. The Ravens are having a real issue closing games out.
Yeah.
And even though they're able to run the ball, which I don't understand the struggle.
Right.
The Bills, Josh Allen is the kind of quarterback that comes back in a heartbeat. And I think they're down 17-0. And I think this game ends up being the Bills winning probably by a touchdown.
Like 24-17?
Yeah, something like that.
I agree with that because they did lose to behind the Raiders. They almost lost to the Cowboys the same way.
Yep. It's a pattern.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
I don't hate it. It's prime time too. Ravens, Lord knows they choked it last year in the AFC Championship.
Yep.
But that's a whole different thing. Ravens fans are already still mad about that.
That'll be a great one to watch for sure.
That's such a great Sunday night game.
So we get 2 Monday night games again.
A battle of cheeks.
So we get the Titans at the Dolphins.
That's horrendous. I might take the Titans to win that game.
I'm going with the Titans.
I really don't believe in the Dolphins.
Miami is favored by a point.
Oh, my God.
I think Will Levis is better than what they have.
Yeah.
And I think
he's shown improvements.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't made as bad of plays since week 1.
Yeah, he just needs to stop trying to be Brett Favre.
You're not Brett Favre.
Things,
fuck.
So he was that way early.
Sure. For sure. I completely agree.
So
I guess we're just anonymous on the Titans out of the gate.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. And then the other game, which I think will be a really good game, the Lions host the Seahawks. Seahawks, even last year, were just right on the brink of that playoff spot.
Yep,
and they've got a lot of weapons on that team.
They do.
They really do.
They do.
I don't know. I mean, again, you're West Coast, you're coming east.
Lions, Ford Field is alive once more after last year. Those fans are nuts. Seahawks traveling west to east. Lions looked good. They've shown they can get Jameis Williams the ball. They showed they can get Amon-Ra St. Brown the ball. There's a couple questionable decisions on running with David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs at different points. I don't know if it's just because it's Geno, and the name, it's not like
don't quite trust him all the way.
Maybe it's that. They beat Bo Nix. The Seahawks just got done beating up a backup quarterback. I personally think this will be a real test for the Seahawks. I don't think even if they lose, this is a bad thing. I think they've just not seen real competition yet.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the week 2 opponent was for the Seahawks, but I know for a fact 2 of those 3 games were against backup and rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. Rookie quarterback week 1. So I mean, there's enough there going on. Even if you travel to Denver, I'm gonna go with the Lions.
Yeah.
And what the spread's 3.5.
Yeah.
Or whatever you've got over
3.5. Lions cover.
I'd take the -3 for the Lions.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going Lions as well.
I think it's a good game. I don't think it says anything about the Seahawks. I just think this is going to be a real test for them. And if they do get blown up, maybe it does.
Yeah, I think you're looking at the Lions probably being the number 1, 2, or 3 seed.
I could see
in
them
the playoffs, and I think the Seahawks will probably this year will make it into that last spot.
They could be somewhere in that bottom four.
That's what I would say. Yep.
Interesting, especially since now the Rams, 49ers, and Cardinals are all kind of cannibalizing themselves. They're 3-0 in that division.
Yeah, it's a hell of a start.
It's what you need if you want to stay competitive.
Yeah, and again, these early season wins are so big. It seemed like nothing, but you get to that end, and you're like, man, if we had just not lost that game.
Yep, that's how I think the Steelers-Chargers game is going to be in the end.
So,
but either here nor there.
There we go. Week 4, baby.
Week 4, another beautiful week, and I think that's all we've got.
That's it.
Hey, that's the week 4 and week 3.
Don't forget to watch Thursday Night Football tonight.
Yeah, watch Thursday Night Football tonight. Over is the pick by me, not him, just for the sake of jinxing it. But, make sure to follow us on Spotify, Twitter. I'll have it all in the description below, or everywhere else if you don't want to watch on YouTube, and it's easier to listen on Amazon Prime or Spotify. And, yeah, everyone have a great fucking week, and we'll be here next week.
And if you haven't noticed, we have the banner back up here.
Yeah.
So
I kind of blocked that.
The Coy Pond banner's back up, and we got a full house behind us, and we'll keep working on that as well.
We're going to keep adding, baby.
Right
We're
on.
getting better and better.
Woo-hoo.
Everyone have a great week, and we will talk to you all next Thursday. Peace.